Welcome to this week's Ask GMBN, where we're going to be diving into some of your fantastic questions. I have gone in and found some ones I really like, Neil.
Really?
So, yeah, I really like. There's some really good ones this week. I really enjoy.
I feel like I need some coffee before I hear some of this questions, some answers, but I don't have one.
Well, you're not going to need them when these questions come, because they are spiked with thoughtful caffeine. I don't even know if that's a thing.
Bring me some energy,
You phoned me because I thought you really were saying I need a coffee.
I do, but come on, let's do this.
All right, okay. LACHLAN Bird says, my bike is 1/3 of my body weight. Is it too heavy?
I've never thought about it like that.
I haven't. I love this question because that's what I've never thought of it that way round.
If it was me, that would make it a really heavy bike. So I'm 70 kilos. What's
yes.
That? That's 1/3 of 70. I can't work out.
But I would say you're a very light downhill rider.
However, I bet LACHLAN, we get this question quite often from young riders, so 12, 13, where you don't have a huge amount of body weight and you've got a normal mountain bike. It can make it slightly more difficult to do things like manual because you've really got to throw your weight around. So it can make it a bit harder. Is the bike too heavy? Well, it's hard to say, really. It's
a strange way, but what I would do, the reason I brought this question up is that your body size isn't going to be the reason you can't do something, because there is definitely a rider out there to ruin your argument.
True.
A very small one, a very big one, a very light one. Exactly. There's always a way to get your bike to do it.
He's only that tall.
Well,
Blake
is actually very, very wide for a 10-year-old.
He's like a troll.
Yeah. He's like, this is the slate dirt of Blake Sampson.
Who can we pick on next?
Right, next question is from Jake Dog. I live near a really good bike park. I'm thinking about getting a job there. Awesome. I'm not going to get paid. Downer. Instead, I'm getting season passes. Is it still worth it? Yeah.
If you get enough time to ride, definitely. But how, I don't know. I'm surprised you're not going to get paid. You're just going to get a season pass.
But a season pass is worth some money.
Worth a lot,
yeah, and I think it's worth it because not only are you going to be able to ride more because you're going to be near the location, you're probably going to get the hours, but even if you didn't, you're just going to be around the people that are going to enthuse you to ride even more. It's just
sounds pretty cool.
What's the word? It's self-fulfilling prophecy of thought. Yeah, I kind of got there.
It's like lifting.
Do a little cut jump for me there, editor. What I meant was, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy of thought. Aren't I clever?
I don't know.
Do it. Get that job. You'll absolutely love it. Right, now, SSDPY says, I'm 6'8" and I want to buy a full suspension downhill bike. Are there any frames out there that can cater for the taller, heavier rider? Now that is big for a downhill rider, 6'8".
6'8's big. People like Minar, he's got to be 6.
He's 6'5".
Is he 5? That's pretty tall, isn't it?
It's pretty tall. But I think the tallest is Minar and Petey, who are 6'5".
And they're on XL bikes. Santa Cruz's, obviously. Oh, bigger than that.
Yeah, well, what I was going to suggest is looking at like a different platform, something like the Geometron bikes that will do a custom build. There are a few custom brands out there that could literally make a bike to your geometry.
It's not going to be cheap.
It won't be cheap, but it will be bang on.
Why don't you get a tandem and just take out the middle seat and sit on the back?
This is a good answer. Maybe try that. 6'8" is tall. I would love to know what you do. I'd love to see a picture of you riding. It can be done though, because people like basketball players like Shaquille O'Neal, Michael Johnson, Reggie Miller, they all ride. They all ride, and they've got special big bikes. So it can be done. Right, next question. Good questions this week, aren't they?
Yeah.
Fun. We're going to get to some more technical stuff. I'm enjoying these ones. Will Todd, I'm trying to wheelie, but I don't really understand the technique, nor does he.
Just put your wheelie in there.
Can you shed some light on this, please? Thanks in advance.
Well, it's front wheel in the air, isn't it, wheelie?
A wheelie, front wheel in the air. Well, you know what? This is something we've tackled quite a few times. So check this out. There's a few tips on how to wheelie, just like this dude here. Go practicing.
The wheelie is probably the oldest trick in the book, but still one of the most fun. This is an in-depth how to wheelie and fix any problems you might be having.
All right, you can wheelie. You can wheelie.
Sometimes. I've been practicing.
Yeah, you have. No Spawn says, I've never been able to get the back end of the ground very well when I bunny hop, so you can't lift the back end up.
Yep.
I'm riding flat pedals and the bottoms of my shoes are pretty worn down. Not a good thing. They haven't got much grip. Therefore, I can't push into the pedals and pull the back end back up. Do you think buying some MTB shoes would be a good idea?
Yes, it will definitely help. It won't just magic the back end up. It's definitely about sort of scraping back and up against the pedal, so pushing down and up and back, but also you've got to make sure you're using your hips. If you're not using your hips, then you're not doing it right.
And what does that mean, not using your hips?
So you, from the manual, pretend your front wheel's up in the air like that, you're at the back of the bike, you've got to really stand up. You've got to get your hips up towards the bars, otherwise just picking up with your feet isn't going to work. So it's the two things together. So I'm tempted to say yes, the shoe's going to help, but it's not really going to make the biggest difference. It's more about technique.
Shoes are not the magic bullet. That's good technique there, Neil. I'm starting to think you can ride. You don't look like you can, but I think you can. Matthias Danzinger says, hey, love the show. I'm 12 years old and I'm relatively short and weak. Like you, dude, like you. Would a 29er be too hard to throw around?
It will be.
I'm looking at getting the 2018 Marin Rift Zone 129er. Any thoughts on that bike? See, I thought that initially, but then I thought, what about some of the XC cross-country girls are riding 29ers, and Emily Batty is tiny.
She is pretty small, yeah.
I mean, she's got to be not far off 12-year-old size.
It depends what you mean about throwing around. If you're talking about jumping and stuff like that, then it's not going to be as easy as a smaller wheel bike. If you're talking about throwing around downhill, loads of grip, trucking on, yes, it would be good for that. So it depends the type of riding. If you want to do jumps and have fun that way, I would go for a smaller wheel bike.
Right, good advice, but not impossible, I guess. No. If you're dead set on that 29.
Absolutely. And you're going to grow, of course.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Sean O'Connor says, in mountain biking, there's so many speciality tools for certain parts to complete certain jobs on the bike, which is true. That is really frustrating. I think a video with hacks and alternatives to these tools with regular tools or household items would be an awesome and incredibly helpful video. Well, what do you think about that, Neil? First, I was going to ask you a question. Have you ever used
a mallet, something like that?
A mallet. Yes. Well, I remember using the spoons in my mum's kitchen to do tile levers.
Don't work very well though. They often rip your tube.
Yeah.
I definitely use household mallets for putting in press fit bottom brackets. Probably shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
And headset cups. Just be gentle. Be careful.
I'd like to add that I've never used just 2 pieces of wood to put headset cups in. I've never done that.
I've never got a very expensive Santa Cruz Carbon Nomad and put it on a wall and used a mallet for the headset.
Because why would you?
Mental.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy. It's a great idea, and I tell you what, I spoke to Doddy about this earlier on, and he's already on the case. Actually, he has made some of a video already about some things you can do along the lines. You can
make something like a chain whip out of an old chain, a bit of metal.
Yeah.
Some things you definitely wouldn't want to because you'd risk damaging your bike.
Yes.
You know, be careful.
Definitely, but there is a video coming from Doddy on GMBN Tech, so look out for that. In the meantime, let's have a look at some of his trailside hacks.
Bit of bark. So I found this bit on the floor. Literally just going to lash this on with some good old-fashioned cable ties. So it is a good idea to stuff a 29-inch tube into your wheels because it will fit, and it does mean that if this does happen to you, you can tie a knot in both ends and it's going to fit back in the wheel again. That is where the hole in the tube is. It's not the best job I've ever done, to be honest, but if the aim is to keep some air in that inner tube and get myself back on the trail, then I'll be very happy with that as a result. It really is a matter of time before it bulges more, it catches on something, tyre goes down. So you need to fix this as soon as it happens. Now, when you're out on the trail, you're very limited what you can do. So in an ideal world, you want to be carrying a tyre boot with you.
Okay, let's keep the questions coming because I can see Neil's like taxed. He's getting tired from these, and I've got more.
I've got more energy now, Martin.
Really? Right, here we go. MTB ST says, hi guys, love the show. I'm looking to get a Canyon Spectral AL 6.0 and was wondering how I can make it better suited to bike park terrain.
I've ridden one of those in bike park. It's a great bike. It's really good. I would say probably put some bigger tyres on. Some downhill tyres will make a big difference, but it'll be great.
Yeah, and tyres is often the thing that you would go specific with on any bike, right?
Yeah, have some lighter tyres for cross-country riders, some heavy tyres for the bike park. That would be perfect.
Yeah, that sounds good. Great bike as well. Cuba Gadgda. That's hard to say. Cuba Gadgda says, yo, where can I get a trail map like the one framed behind you? Oh,
well, you can get them from trailmaps.co.uk, but you can't get one like that because that one is signed by Annie Last, and that's from Lenzerheide, where she won her World Cup cross country last year.
Yeah, she gave it to us as a gift in the Dirt Shed Show Christmas special. What's really cool about that brand, Trail Maps, is that you can basically say any trail that you love, and they will actually make the map to that. Yeah. So it's really cool. I've actually got one from the Whistler video special, which is
it's here somewhere.
Is here somewhere. But anyway, I'll find it. Don't worry, Trail Maps. I haven't lost it. Maybe I have. Yeah, they're great maps. Now, Regan Freerun says, I'm struggling to choose between a downhill bike or a long travel enduro
both.
Bike.
It's easy.
YT Tuesday or YT Capra? Tues.
Looks like Tuesday.
Tuesday. I like calling them Tuesday. Because that's why I actually thought it was called. I ride mainly, if not all, downhill, but I use my bike as a way of getting into town and meeting friends. I think the answer is obvious.
Enduro bike.
It's the enduro bike. I think you've really got to be pushed now to choose a downhill bike. I don't know if that's a terrible thing to say.
They're great bikes, but they're so special. So you wouldn't want to ride into town, and the enduro bike's going to be great anyway.
Yeah.
So.
I think they're different ends of the spectrum, but a downhill bike, I think these days is very similar to a specific trials bike. Unless you're doing exactly that, name on the tin, then you don't really need one.
Yep, exactly.
There's other bikes that are sat in that middle range.
To be honest,
do it all.
I don't have a downhill bike anymore. I had one for 20 years, but when I stopped racing, I realised I didn't need one.
Shock, horror, downhill racer does not have downhill bike.
No.
What does that make
Although
you?
I do want one.
What does that make you? Oh, well, that's fine. As long as you really want one, it's okay.
Next year I shall have one.
Camelo Quintaro says, as someone who learned how to ride a bike at age 20, that is old to learn to ride a bike. He's now 23, so not long ago. What an era to learn to ride a bike.
Yeah.
How much disadvantage do I think he would have against people at the same age who are training as kids in XC? Like,
quite a lot.
Tons. It's like so much you could never ever understand at this moment until you actually went out with one of those kids and got absolutely destroyed.
What about the other end of the spectrum where you might be fresh to it, that you think, wow, this is amazing, I'm so keen, I want to do this all day and night for the next 5 years? You'd probably get quite good in that time.
You would. There's definitely, the thing is with XC, it's a bit like marathon running, is a lot to do with your genes, you know, your genetic makeup of like whether you can actually be a good cross-country rider or not. You know, there's certain people who suit it. So you might just be gifted. I remember there was a guy running in a Commonwealth marathon for GB about, I don't know, last Commonwealth Games, and he'd only started running quite recently, but he's just good at it. So you could just run. So you might be one of those people. It's not all lost, but I suspect you are quite a long way behind the game. That's my prediction.
If you want to see a video for cross country, check out our hardtail versus full suspension. See if you can get any quicker, faster.
So the power meter on this bike is on the crank, and I'm going to swap that between both bikes to keep it exactly the same, also using the same heart rate monitor. So today's course is pretty punchy. I'm just going to go as hard as I can on both bikes. I'm not going to try and ride to a heart rate or a power or anything like that. It's short enough that I can get 2 fast laps on both bikes, measure how fast I am, but also again look at that data and try and work out how efficient I am. So course today is quite undulating, it's quite muddy today as well, although it is nice and sunny. Some short punchy climbs and some technical descending, so I think it's going to be quite interesting to see which bike is fastest.
Time for the quick fire round.
Take 3.
God, I looked cool then. Right, here we go, Neil, hold tight. Sonny Wright says, is Blake going to Crankworks in Leger?
Been and gone.
Been and gone, missed it, but he did. Didn't?
I can't remember. I think he probably did.
He probably did. BADELATSCHEN Bro says, hello, I'm 14 years old. I'm riding a Cube Reaction. Hello. Really interested in racing enduro. Should I just go for it?
Yeah.
Do it. Randolf Bad says, what is the difference between 650B and 27.5 and 29 and 700C wheels?
650, 27.5, same thing. People now seem to call them 27.5 more than 650B. Get rid of that. 29 700, I'm pretty sure they're the same as well. 700 is the road bike wheel. I'm pretty sure it's the same diameter. Probably just a bit narrower on 700, but I'm not 100% sure, to be honest.
Correct us if we're wrong.
Yeah.
Randolf or bad, that's what I just asked. Puerto Chepek says, will you make a video about riding brakeless on a dirt jump bike? Yes, Neil will.
No thanks.
Purpose Vlogs says, I'm 12 and I live in Australia and I don't know how to get noticed. Plus, I only have a hardtail.
Just talk loudly.
Stop the quickfire a minute. Stop riding to get noticed. What has that got to do with anything?
Noticed by who?
Yes, go out and do it because you like it. If you're riding to get noticed, go and do a different sport because you make me tired in my brain.
But we're shouting about being noticed on YouTube. Hey, look at us.
Good point. I retire. That is a good point. That's what I'm doing.
Yes, exactly. It's pretty much
that is literally what I've done my whole life.
So go on YouTube and make a video. Then you'll get noticed.
Do what he said. Do what he said. ALBIN LINDH says, can you drill a hole in my aluminium frame? Can I drill a hole? Can you drill a hole in your aluminium frame for internal routing and drop a seat post? You can, but you're voiding your warranty.
At your own discretion. I would probably, if it was a slightly old frame and you did a nice little hole that's nice and neat, I probably would. However, if it was a brand new bike, you just spent loads of money on it, it is going to void your warranty, so I would think twice about doing it.
Yeah, drilling holes in frames, never a good idea. Experience. Can you do a video on how to prepare for your first downhill race? Yes, we should do that.
Oh, I've just done a video on how to prepare for a race. Not really specialised to downhill, but prepare for your first race.
But we've got presenters here who haven't done downhill races.
Yeah.
We should send them on it. Either Blake, Jess, Steve Jones. He's never raced downhill.
Steve Jones.
Say he has. Just knows
He's
a load of
won the
stats.
Masters National Championships a few times.
Has he?
It's a fast old bloke, that man.
Is he?
He is.
Right, let's do correct me if I'm wrong. Flash screen. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the bit where you can send in a video to our uploader. The link is just there and in the description down below. Yep. Go to the correct me if I'm wrong tab and put it in there. Let us know what
I'll correct you.
Put it in the correct me if I'm wrong tab. Okay with you? and yeah, we'll have a look at the video and see if we can help you improve your skills. Yes. So this week we've got one from Mechanized.
That's an unusual name.
It is an unusual name.
What's Mechanized been doing?
Well, Mechanized has been building a manual practice machine that Blake built.
Nice.
Yeah, so a manual trainer. Here he is using it. He wants some advice, Neil. So what can you tell him? Here we go. He built the manual machine because Blake's video, and now I want to know if he's doing anything wrong while using it. Here we go. He's in Michigan, this is Neil. Ever seen manuals in Michigan?
Whoa. No.
There we go.
That's pretty good.
It's a good manual machine.
Whoa! That was almost a loop.
That was sketchy.
I've seen people sort of tie a rope to their front wheel.
That third go was good, yeah.
It's good. Definitely going to help you out with the normal manual skills.
I want to commit back and then really get hold of that back brake. You want to find the back brake, really.
Is the back brake going to help on this machine?
It will.
I guess it will.
Yeah, it will hold you there. There you go. That's what I say. I think from what you said, Neil, actually, the tie down on the front wheel would be useful.
Although it's kind of cheating then, because you can learn better doing it like this, I reckon.
You've proved that you can step off the back, so you're safe, essentially.
I like it.
But you've got to get using that back brake.
Back brake is a safety mechanism when you're doing them properly.
Yeah. So practice deliberately coming up to that point where you think you're going to loop out and just grabbing the back brake and see what happens. The bike will just essentially stop where it is, and you'll find that you can actually balance, lower it down a bit.
You need to learn where that balance point is, don't you?
Yeah. So
cool though.
The great thing about that manual machine is you can practice all day long. So I bet even by the time you're watching this video right now, you've already mastered this, but it was great to show others out there who are trying to learn it. So if you've got a correct me if I'm wrong, send it into our uploader. We'd love to see it. Put your questions for next week's show in the comment section down below.
Absolutely. If you want to see Blake's manual machine build, click over there. And for how to manual from myself, click over here.
Absolutely. Click on the old globe there to subscribe, and we will see you on Ask next week. Thanks for watching.